In this video, we talk about why being good with money isn't enough anymore, and how the system quietly changed without most people noticing. Being good with money used to be enough. Save consistently, avoid debt, work hard, and eventually you'd be fine. That promise is broken. Today, you can do everything right, budget perfectly, never miss a bill, invest responsibly, and still feel like you're falling behind. That's not a personal failure, that's a system change, and almost nobody warned you. Pause for a second. Look around. People are more financially educated than ever. Apps track every dollar. Podcasts teach investing. YouTube explains budgeting in detail. Yet anxiety is higher. Savings feel smaller. The future feels less certain. So what went wrong? Because the uncomfortable truth is this: being good with money isn't the same thing as winning with money anymore. And once you understand why, you stop blaming yourself. Let's rewind. For most of modern history, money followed simple rules. You earned a wage, you saved part of it, you avoided risky behavior. Inflation was low, housing was affordable, education led to stable jobs. The system rewarded discipline. If you were patient, if you delayed gratification, if you played by the rules, time worked in your favor. Your savings grew, your house appreciated, your retirement felt predictable. That world no longer exists. Not because people changed, but because the structure underneath them did. Today, discipline alone doesn't protect you. In fact, sometimes it quietly traps you. Here's where it starts getting uncomfortable. Inflation doesn't just raise prices, it quietly punishes cash. If your money isn't moving fast enough, it's shrinking. And wages? They move slowly, painfully slowly. Meanwhile, assets move fast. Homes, stocks, businesses, data, attention. They compound at a speed salaries can't match. So even if you're good with money, if you're only trading time for income, you're playing a losing race. Let's make this real. Imagine two people. Both are responsible, both budget, both save. One owns assets, the other only saves cash. 10 years later, they live in completely different worlds. Not because one worked harder, but because one was positioned differently. That's the shift most people missed. The old advice assumed stability. The new world rewards exposure. And here's the part nobody likes to hear. Playing it safe is no longer safe. Being responsible often means avoiding risk, avoiding volatility, avoiding uncertainty. But the system now transfers wealth through uncertainty. If you avoid it completely, you opt out of growth. And if you don't grow, you fall behind by default. That's not motivation talk, that's math. Look at housing. Being good with money once meant saving for a home slowly. Today, prices move faster than savings, so the goalpost keeps moving. You didn't fail to save enough, the price accelerated away from you. Look at education. Being good with money meant investing in a degree. Now, degrees don't guarantee income growth. Debt remains, returns don't. Look at retirement. Saving responsibly into low-risk instruments feels smart, until inflation eats the real value. Suddenly, doing the right thing feels pointless. That confusion is everywhere, and it creates guilt. People start asking, "What did I do wrong?" The answer is often nothing. You followed rules designed for a different era. The system changed faster than the advice. And here's where psychology comes in. Humans are wired for stability. We like predictable rules, clear rewards. So when money stops behaving predictably, we internalize the failure. We assume it's a personal flaw. But the truth is simpler. The game didn't end. The rules just shifted quietly. Let's talk about leverage. Not debt leverage, system leverage. Assets are leverage. Ownership is leverage. Distribution is leverage. Wages are linear. Assets are exponential. That gap grows over time. So being good with money, budgeting, saving, being careful, only manages decline. It doesn't create momentum. And momentum is everything now. This is why so many financially responsible people feel stuck. They're managing money well, inside a system that rewards growth over control. Think about this. If discipline alone created wealth, teachers would be the richest profession on earth. They're disciplined, consistent, responsible, yet wealth concentrates elsewhere. Not because of greed, but because of structure. Money flows toward scale, and scale doesn't come from effort, it comes from systems. Businesses scale, investment scale, media scales, technology scales. Labor does not. So what happens to someone who only relies on labor? They must work harder each year just to stand still. That exhaustion isn't laziness, it's friction, and the system creates more of it over time. Now here's the dangerous part. When people realize this, they often swing too far. They chase hype, they gamble, they follow shortcuts. That's not the answer either. The goal isn't reckless risk, it's intelligent exposure. Understanding where money actually flows and then positioning yourself accordingly. This is why financial education alone isn't enough. You can know everything about budgeting and still miss the bigger picture. Because money today is less about behavior and more about access. Access to assets, access to networks, access to information early. The earlier you're positioned, the less effort you need later. That's the uncomfortable truth behind wealth inequality. Time in the system matters more than effort within it. So where does this leave you? It means being good with money is now the baseline, not the finish line. It keeps you alive, it doesn't move you forward. To move forward, you need leverage, and leverage starts with awareness. Understanding inflation as a tax, understanding assets as protection, understanding that safety has a cost. It also means redefining risk. The biggest risk today isn't volatility, it's stagnation. Holding cash feels safe, but over decades it's guaranteed loss. Avoiding exposure feels responsible, but it guarantees dependency. The system doesn't reward caution anymore. It rewards participation. This doesn't mean everyone must be an entrepreneur, or a trader, or a speculator. It means everyone must understand where money accumulates, and then choose their level of involvement. Even small exposure beats perfect discipline with zero leverage. That's the shift. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. You stop blaming yourself for feeling behind. You realize you weren't failing, you were underpositioned. That realization is freeing, because it turns shame into strategy. Instead of asking, how can I save more? You start asking, how can I place my money where it grows? Instead of cutting coffee, you study cash flow. Instead of chasing security, you build optionality. That's how the mindset changes. Not overnight, not recklessly, but intentionally. Because money today isn't about being perfect, it's about being adaptive. And the people who adapt early feel calm later. The ones who cling to old rules feel anxious forever. That's why being good with money isn't enough anymore. It never failed you, it just wasn't designed for this world. Understanding that is the real upgrade. If this helped you see money differently, subscribe to the channel. we break down how the system actually works so you don't have to learn it the hard way. Subscribe to my channel for more videos on modern money and financial reality. Thanks for watching.